Hello everyone. It's Anastasia from Australian Business Ubizblog. How's everyone's going? Today we have a Katie here. She's going to share with us the beautiful journey. She's a master of Ayurveda techniques, and she's also a yoga teacher. She's been in this field for 25 years. She's got several online classes available for you, and she's going to talk about them today. Hi Katie, how are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for coming in. So the first question to you, look, when first time I looked at Instagram and I've seen Ayurveda, as like a regular person, we all know yoga, right? We all love yoga, we all love yoga techniques. But unfortunately, I didn't know much about Ayurveda. Can you just briefly tell us what this technique is about and what the different key points from yoga?
Sure. So Ayurveda is sometimes called the sister science to yoga. So yoga and Ayurveda sit very closely together. They come from the same tradition, obviously ancient India. And Ayurveda is really the natural healthcare model from the Indian culture. So there's lots and lots of different elements to it. It has to do with your diet, your sleep, your daily routines and habits, your work, your exercise, really every facet of what you do in your life can learn something from the different Ayurvedic teachings. And the thing about Ayurveda is it sees each person as completely unique individuals. So what's going to be right for me is not necessarily going to be right for you. And also, depending on how old we are, where we're living, the time of year, there's so many different factors that will help us to optimize our health. So it's really about creating an individual kind of program, an individual understanding for each person according to their own constitution.
That's fantastic. So how do you measure that? So say, for example, if somebody comes to you and say, Katie, I've got this, I would like my life to be like more wellness within my lifetime. How would you help them? Where would you start? How would you measure those differences? Because we're all different, right? As you mentioned.
Yeah, there's a few different approaches, but what I like to do is identify what someone's elemental type is. And this is very much part of Ayurveda. So it's similar in Chinese medicine. Like some of the listeners might be familiar with Chinese medicine, where they use acupuncture and the meridians, and they're also interested in the elements like earth, fire, air, water. In Ayurveda, we have a similar program. So the first thing that you can do is figure out what your dominant element type is. I have a quiz on my website that people can do where they can actually go through 20 different questions and figure out what their type is. But you can also go and see a practitioner and they'll also help you with that. So there's three types. There's the fire type, which is called Pitta. There's the earth type, which is earth and water combined, actually, which is Kapha. And then there's the air type, which is Vata. And each of those has really different qualities. So depending on what your predominant type is will depend on what you will actually do to sort of bring yourself back into balance. So if you go on the website up to the menu at the top there, I'll just show you where the quiz is. And then you go to more. The little, and then it should say, free Ayurveda quiz. So that's where people can go and they can find out, they can go through the questions. There's 20 questions, so it takes, maybe 10 minutes. And you can get an email sent to you, not only with your result, but also with some recommendations of lifestyle and health choices that you can make. I'll give you a couple of examples. So for me, I'm a Pitta type, which is a fire type. And that means I'm prone to overheating and also in my personality towards being a little bit more impatient and kind of ambitious and quite directed. Like these are the qualities of fire. So, each of the types has its positive qualities and its struggles. So for me, the struggle would be impatience and overheating, but the positive side will be, focused and ambitious and good at getting stuff done. Or we could use another example. We could take the air type, which is Vata. A person who is predominantly the air type, their positive qualities will be that they're very creative and they're usually quite spiritual. They're often artists or musicians. But the downside for that particular type is that they're prone towards worry and anxiety. So, you know, we each have our things to work with and also our special strengths. And Ayurveda is all about figuring out how you can make changes in your life to best support your strengths.
That's fantastic. So at the moment you've got a few online training programs, right? As far as I've seen, the first one is Ayurveda Goddess, Goddess, yes. And the second one is Yoga Birth, right? There's a couple of different online training you've got. So what the inspiration behind of it? Like, I mean, back 25 years ago, all of a sudden you woke up in the morning and you said to yourself, all right, I want to be a yoga teacher. And then Ayurveda came along, apparently, or it was before Ayurveda came first and then yoga came second. So how did you start it all?
Yeah, so I spent a lot of time in India. I first went to India when I was 16 years old. I was still in high school and spent a summer traveling around. And I really fell in love with the place and also the teachings and yoga. So that's really where my passion started from a very young age. And from that time, I was a passionate practitioner of yoga and then got very interested in Ayurveda and did a lot of trainings all over the world, in India, but also in the UK, where I'm from originally, America, and then now Australia, with many different teachers. And through that training and through those years and years of practice, and also applying the teachings to my own life, I then started to run workshops, in-person workshops. So people would come and I'd have small groups, mostly of women. Most of the programs I run are for females. And then just before COVID happened, actually, so it's sort of good timing for me, about 3 years ago now, I made the decision to transition my business mostly online. So now I have a program, as you said, it's called Ayurveda Goddess. It's a program for women that takes them through the process of understanding their own constitution, their own health, and then applying it to their lives and maybe also to their family lives and to their friends and their community. So a lot of the people who take that training have their own health issues, like maybe they're suffering from not sleeping well or they've got bad digestion. A lot of women have got reproductive issues, like they might have menstrual cycle problems, that type of thing. And they come and do the program and they learn how to bring their life into better alignment with health, specifically for them. So that's that program. And that's been running for a couple of years now. It's pretty successful. It's I have a lot of women come through that every month. I have new people coming through and really getting a lot of amazing health benefits. Like you'll see when you look at the website that the impact of these teachings is really powerful on people's lives. And then the other big program that I run is a yoga of birth, a yoga pregnancy online program. And that sort of evolved. We were saying just before we went live, I was telling you that I've got 4 children and I'm currently very pregnant with my 5th. And so I've been on a big journey myself of, getting conception, healthy fertility, healthy pregnancy, positive experiences with labor, and then looking after the baby in those sort of early months of being a mum. And so I've used the teachings of yoga and Ayurveda through that journey lots of times now. And as a result of that, built this program, Yoga of Birth, which again guides women through that really important time of their life where they have a lot of different health things going on and need some extra support.
Absolutely. There's one question to you, because you've said that you've got so many, obviously, clients and the programs are quite successful. What was the best feedback that one of your clients actually provided to you? Like when you actually open the computer screen, whatever, online reviews, and you just, wow, I've done my job here. This is what I'm trying to achieve. What was the best review? You don't have to say the names or anything, but in generally speaking.
There's so many stories I could tell you. I mean, so many women are dealing with, I've already mentioned, just different health concerns. Sleep is a huge one in our culture. So many people are sleep deprived and having problems with insomnia. So I get a lot of feedback about how the program is helping them with that. One that springs to mind that's recent is I had someone write to me who's a mother and she has a teenage daughter, and she was describing how her relationship with her teenage daughter wasn't in a good place. They were arguing a lot and they were having a lot of challenges in their relationship. And then they started to do the program together, and they started cooking food together, and also making, because one of the elements in the program is that we make self-care products like bath salts and oils and things that you can use in your beauty regime that are natural and healthy. So they started making those products together, and she wrote to me to tell me that it had really transformed their relationship. Like they were in a much better place because they've been doing this course and doing the suggestions of the cooking and the self-care products together. So that was really lovely to hear. And then when it comes to yoga of birth, I guess one of the nicest pieces of feedback that I've had is somebody wrote to me and told me that her mother, she was pregnant. The woman doing the training was pregnant. And she wrote to tell me that her mother is a midwife, and that her mother had been looking at her course notes and actually found that she had learned a lot from looking at the course notes from the yoga of birth training. So I thought that was a great compliment, that someone who's a practicing midwife found some wisdom in the training that was helpful for her.
So basically, Katie, the bottom line is that spirituality and lifestyle, so everything is pretty much in our mind. We are prisoners of our thoughts in a way, and all these techniques can help us to relieve and let go, right, and improve the lifestyle, improve the relationships, right? So it's about the mental health state, right? So it's about, and also physical state, right? So it's both kind of sides. But do you believe that everything is in our heads? Like we all kind of trying to juggle different things. We're busy, we feeling run down, and this is when the problem starts falling into place. Is it that how it kind of sort of...
It's very, very relevant. The mental health element is huge. It's huge. But actually, according to Ayurveda and yoga, there are 5 different sort of facets. So we often talk about mind, body, spirit, like this idea of those 3, the mind, the body, the spirit. Ayurveda takes that a little bit further. So the first layer is the physical body. It's your health. You know, when you wake up in the morning, do you feel like you've got energy? Can you move around? Is your physical body well? That's the first one. Because if it's not, if there's pain and discomfort in the physical body, everything else becomes very hard. So that's the first. Second one is a little bit different. It's your energy body. And the best way I can think about that or describe that is your vibe or your aura. It's kind of like the energy that you give off. So when you first meet someone, often we make a first impression, and it's kind of based on just the vibe that we have. So that, according to Ayurveda, that's kind of the second element of your health and who you are. Because someone can be physically very well, but if they've got a very grumpy kind of unfriendly persona, then it doesn't feel good, right? The third one is to do with your mind, like you were just speaking about, but particularly your rational, logical mind. So it's the part of your mind that's able to make decisions, stick to tasks, answer emails, that kind of side, logical. And then the fourth is your emotions and feelings. So in Ayurveda, those 2 parts of the mind are kept separate, because if you think about it, they really are very separate. Sometimes we get into a battle within our own head, like the logical part of me says, oh, I should eat some broccoli. And the emotional feeling part of me says I should eat some chocolate. And so an argument inside my own head starts to unfold. So that's those 2. Or, you could even apply it to relationships, for example, like the logical part of you might say, I know this relationship isn't a particularly healthy one for me, but the emotional part of you makes a different decision. So like that, we have these kind of 2 sides to us. And then the final one is your spirit or your soul. So that's where we go into kind of spirituality. That's the part of you that's, depending on what you believe and what your religion is and that kind of thing, it's like the spirituality. So those 5 elements all together. Ayurveda is really interested in finding health in all of them. We want to find health in the physical body, in the energy or the vibe, in the emotions, in the mind, and ultimately then that leads to a feeling of peace in your soul.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just going to say, I guess it's probably an opportunity to find a balance between through all of this facet, all these elements. And in our busy and crazy life, sometimes it's hard because at some point of our life we have to be logical and have to make those logical decisions. But I think it's probably separations and being comfortable in those facets, right? It's about feeling that I know exactly what I'm doing right now, rather than, as you said, being irrational. When you becoming so stressed out, you've got no idea what to do. And this is when that, sort of stress comes along. And this is what we probably meaning that people need to balance it out, right? Through all of
That's
this
exactly
technique.
right. That's exactly right. And what we do in the programs that I run is we identify what our strengths and weaknesses are. So maybe you're a person who's very, very logical and makes a lot of decisions based on that, but ignores your feelings. And eventually your feelings and your emotions will catch up with you because they've been suppressed. Or it might be the other way, where you're always following your feelings and following your heart, but you're not making good decisions because you're not using logic and you're not being sensible. So, and then some people really take care of their physical body. They're really fit and healthy and well, but they neglect their mental health. Whereas others, mental health is good, but the physical body is not so good. So again, we're all different, and what each person needs to come into full balance will be different. And not just each person, but also the phases of your life. Like, how old you are, whether you've had some illness, whether you're having a baby, whether you're working a lot, like all of these things are very relevant.
Yeah, absolutely. So for you as a very master and experienced, pretty much guru in yoga and Ayurveda, you still have your challenges, right? So what would be the most kind of challenge you find that, oh my God, like sometimes you're still trying to work on it, especially in a lockdown situation when like we had to put our lives on stop, a bit of a stop kind of, and people stuck at home, but they still need some support as well. So was it challenging for you or anything else challenge for you right now?
I have loads of challenges. I think the thing that happens when you become a little bit more self-aware, it's not that the challenges stop, it's just that you have a few more tools to deal with them. Like obviously, I'm a mother of 4, so that's already a huge challenge. Like just before I came on this call, I was shouting at my son because he wasn't eating his dinner. So, it's not like I'm always like super calm and peaceful. And I think one of the things actually that people really relate to in the work that I do, and one of the reasons why my business has been successful, is that I'm very honest about that. Like I don't try to pretend that I'm some kind of guru floating on a white cloud, everything's always perfect. I'm very honest about the struggles I have with my own children, in my own life. One of the biggest things for me that I struggle with, because I'm that fire type, the pitta type, is patience. So I'm very impatient. I'm always rushing. I tend to I have to meditate and really like breathe and really consciously slow myself down. Otherwise, I'm like one of these people that's just always kind of churning at a million miles an hour. So, like I said before, everybody has their own unique individual challenges. And I've certainly got plenty of them in my life. But I try to be very honest and open about that because we're all in this together. We've all got our own stuff going on.
Do you have anything in mind, like, for example, if not, that's completely fine, like for everyone, just a little advice, like if, for example, you're at work, if you're at home, it doesn't matter where you are, and you're facing a very stressful situation, like you actually panicking or something like that, and we all have those moments. There's any, like, even 20-30 seconds technique where you can just sit down and think about it, or maybe meditate, or some sort of a technique you could suggest? Maybe you could just talk about the steps or something that everyone's, okay, I can use that one.
Yeah, there's a few things. So there are some things in Ayurveda that are good for everybody. I've spoken about individual constitutions, but there are some things that work for everyone. A couple of things that spring to mind that are really good to manage your stress and your health. One is to eat the biggest meal of your day, not at the end of the day. So in Ayurveda, we try to eat the bigger meal of the day around lunchtime, and then a lighter meal towards the end, and not too close to bedtime. So one of the mistakes a lot of people make is they have a big, heavy meal within an hour or an hour and a half of going to bed. This is really bad for digestion, and it's really bad for physical health. So that's one thing I think a lot of people could shift around a little bit. And I know for myself, when I stopped eating a heavy meal very late in the evening, my own sense of energy and health was really improved by that. Another thing, and this is a hard one for many people, but trying to go to bed earlier. So many of us kind of get into the habit of staying up late, and particularly having screen time just before bed. You know, we're scrolling on our phones or we're falling asleep watching TV. If we can try to have an hour buffer between screen and sleep, this is a really good habit to get into. And this is something a lot of sleep experts are talking about more and more now. Like, many people know this, but actually it's a teaching that's thousands of years old. If you look at Ayurveda, there's a strong element of going to bed earlier will be really beneficial for our health. And then in terms of just dealing with a sort of stressful moment or a stressful situation in your day, there's so many techniques, there's so many different things. But one of my favorites is a very simple meditation where we become aware of the breath and we use the phrase, let go. So as you inhale, you can do it silently, so you don't have to say it out loud, but as you inhale, you say to yourself the word let, and as you exhale, you say go. Inhale, let, exhale, go. Inhale, let, exhale, go. And if you do this for a round of like maybe 10 times, it'll really help you to let go physically. So your muscles relax, your jaw relaxes, you know, you become physically more relaxed, but also mentally and emotionally. Let's say you're at work and you're about to go into a stressful meeting, or you're nervous, you have to give a presentation. Breathe in, let, breathe out, go. Do it a few times and you'll come to a much more tranquil state.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that third one, especially in particular.
It's often the best.
Yeah, that's it, because it's a simple thing, but it helps you really to relieve that tension and stress on your shoulders and just let go, literally. Well, look, if someone wants to join you in and sign up to your program, what do they do? So is it the website you've got, or Instagram is the place to go for?
I do have a very active Instagram account, but the best place really is the website, which is www.bhaktirose.com.au. As I said before, they can do the quiz on the website, which is a really great way of getting started and getting some more information. And then all the details of the Ayurveda Goddess training and also the Yoga of Birth training are on that website. And I'll just let you know as well that very soon, like I think actually starting tomorrow, I'm about to be offering a 50% sale for Valentine's Day. So that'll be running for 3 or 4 days. So both Ayurveda Goddess and Yoga of Birth training are half off for the next few days, which I don't do that very often. I do it maybe once or twice a year. But just so happens I'm doing a Valentine's special. So it's good timing. People are interested.
That's awesome. Fantastic. Definitely we'll pop it in on Facebook as well and let everyone know about this one. So yeah, look, it looks absolutely amazing. And I love all your pages and also your images. It's beautiful. It's just looking at those like makes me calm. It just relaxes you a little bit. So look, I've learned so many things, and hopefully some of the people will watch later on repeat as well, so on replay. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for joining, and good luck with everyone, with everything. So you know, good news is coming along, I guess. So, and namaste. So thank you so much.
Namaste.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Bye.